at you at the camera or where? Okay, all right, ready? My name is Dean Williams, and I'm the president of Central Illinois Film Commission. I reside here in Springfield, Illinois.
All right. And what prompted you to what made family shoot? How did you get started?
It all started when I was with the state police, and I was to take care of the movie company called Awakening Land for Warner Brothers, and they asked that they try to help them out with traffic patrol if they needed anything, and it was Hal Holbrook with our star in the star of Bewitched, and this is Montgomery. It was filmed at New Salem, Riverside Stables, and we just had a really, really, really good time doing it. And the director and producer, Bob Weiss, come up to me and says, "Oh, why don't you come to work for me?" And I says, well, how much do you pay? And he says, well, it's only going to be $50 an hour. I said, $50 an hour? And I said, well, how many hours do you work? He said, well, it's 8 hours is 50. Time after that is time and a half. And on Saturdays, time and a half. It is double time on Sunday. And so I resigned the state police. And the first thing we did was Blues Brothers up in Chicago, Illinois. And once I got up there, it just became electric of all the wonderful things that Chicago had to offer. That's what I did: Weird Science, Next of Kin, Purdy and Pink, and Phyllis Dade Off. I got The Babe with John Goodman, and The Backdraft, and several other films. I just loved Chicago.
Like the ton. So, what goals did you set for yourself once you got to film industry?
My goal was to be able to go on the set and be able to communicate with the actors and have the credibility needed to be able to ask them to do what sometimes they don't want to do. You have to psych them up. In other words, Sylvester Stallone, he with all the fights had his like this, so you don't want to shoot him from this side. And he's only he's 178 pounds, and so you get down on your knees and shoot up. That makes him look bigger and taller. And then do something that no other photographer does, called a get-back camera. What I do is I shoot pictures with my own personal camera that does not go to Hollywood, and I give them to the actors. Because, believe it or not, the actors never get any pictures.
Okay, so good answer. What were your biggest challenges while working in the film?
The biggest challenge in Hollywood is that there's only one photographer for the entire production. And you're on there 2 weeks before production, and you're there 2 weeks after. So in every film is 3 months long. But there is nobody to carry your equipment. There's nobody to help you with lighting. There's nobody to help you to do anything at all whatsoever. You are by yourself, and that's it.
All right.
Chief, you gotta go?
Right up before.
Oh. No, but ladies and gentlemen, the fire chief, Ed Caddy, is leaving the auditorium. Thanks, Chief. I want to talk about that hot spot. I got your unlisted number.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And okay, my best question. What would you say out of the success here?
Believe it or not, I was Lincoln Land Community College. I went there and I learned speech, and that was the most important thing to do, because you know how to open and you know how to close. In other words, when you ever come up to actor and you say, you know, really the left side is your best side, and if you just simply move it a little bit this way, the lighting will be just perfect with backlighting, so you can communicate with them. Now, I got the job of coal miner's daughter. The other that have the ethic that's needed to do the job properly. He would come up to the actor, Tommy, and he would physically push it and grab the actors next to him. And as a result, the actor fired him. And you have to be able to command people without getting in their space. And they have 50% kill right, meaning they can look at a picture, don't like it, they'll kill it. And so if you have two actors acting together, one can like it, the other can kill it. So it's very difficult to come up with the 50 pictures that's needed for the press kit. And I choose the 50. And of the 50, 15 of them are then sent worldwide, black and white, color, clips, to all of the media of the world.
Good. All right. How long have you worked in film?
I started in October 10th, 1973, and I'm still going. And I'm a member of SAG-AFTRA, member of IATSE Local 600, and NABIT. And I've been very, very honored to help select the people for the SAG-AFTRA award, along with 60 others. And so it's been a great honor to be in this business this many years. But I'm still working. I'm 81 years old, and they still call me. I just finished a film called American Criminal.
Okay. What was that? I put it up there. What was the first film project you ever worked with?
The very, very first film I did with LeVar Burton, and I did it up in Chicago, Illinois, and it was a TV series. And LeVar liked my work so much, he said, I'm going to start doing an Alex Haley film, Roots. And so I went and did Roots down in South Carolina. And LeVar became real close friends, and I was able to do all of the Roots series, and then Roots Christmas later on, and so on and so forth. But it all started in Chicago on a TV show.
So what was the best film project you worked on?
Backdraft.
Backdraft?
Oh, there's no... during the writer's strike in '83, we were out of work for almost 8 months. And we're used to making about $5,000 to $10,000 a week. 50. Whoa, there's not enough McDonald's to go around. So as a result, I joined the fire department, and I set up the fire station training facility, meaning that we televised the training. So they didn't have to bring the big trucks with all the water to a training station, and then if they got a call, they had to leave. So they actually stayed in their barracks in the firehouse, and we were able to train them. As a result, we became a Class 1 fire department. And then what happened was I got a call to do the best movie I've ever done called Backdraft. And the chief said, if you leave to do another movie, I'm firing you. And I said, 80,000, 40.
Let's start tonight.
I left, and I did Backdraft. And when I came back, the chief said, by the way, what film did you do out of curiosity? As I cleaned out my locker, and he said, I says, when it comes out, you're going to hire me back. It came out, he hired me back.
Well, the man about why I can't be. So what was your least favorite?
Oh my God. It was called Country with Jessica Lange. That was, and the reason for it is because I did King Kong, of course, and that became a producer, and as a result had a lot of control over it. So we filmed in Waterloo, Iowa, filmed in August, September, October, and then the little girl that was in Field of Dreams was a female star. And Halloween came along, and she dressed up as a lady of evening. And she's only 12 to 13 years old. And in the storyline, she's supposed to find things that would embarrass an adult, but the kid, she said, what is this, Daddy? And so as a result, she was fired. We started the whole movie over in the dead of winter, 60 below zero in Waterloo, Iowa.
Oh, well, then, anything surprise you? Like, there are like big surprises?
Well, the biggest surprise is that there's a lot of death and things happening in the industry that I witnessed the person being killed, and that it's just the fact is that they feel that because you're making a movie, it's magic. It is not magic. A gentleman was on top of a scaffolding, and there was power lines above. He didn't even touch them. They were 8 feet away, and he was electrocuted. It's with that much energy out, and we had to, bring him down. And I was on Lady Blue, and a photographer, and I wanted a good shot of her pointing the gun and shooting it to get the smoke out, and she shot me and knocked me completely out. Even though it was a blank, it had a wadding in it. But the star of Crow obviously was shot and killed. Hexen was shot and killed with a real gun on the set, and as we all know what's going on right now. So safety is very, very important in the industry.
Fantastic. Can you just name a few or don't stand of industry?
Well, most important is Mr. Jim Betts over there. Jim Betts is the first African American to ever head a major studio department. And he worked for over 30 years as some of the most major films ever made. And like I said, Forrest Gump, Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy, and all these wonderful, great films that he's worked on. And we became friends when I was doing Star Trek, and I was filming the being in the movie Star Trek. And we became fast friends. And other I've been involved in is like Dr. Carl Luthen's. Dr. Carl Luthen here in Riverton, Illinois, supplies all of the horses, wagons, and Civil War, and this is bizarre to say, all of the trash that you see in the film after a war with horses and wagons rode up and ammo, he supplies all of that stuff. And films like we worked together on Rambo 3, Lincoln, Lone Ranger, countless amount of films dating all the way back to my favorite, and that was The Blue and the Gray in the North and the South with Patrick Swayze.
So the last question would be, what advice would you have for anyone who wants to get into film or any up and coming?
If you wanted to get the industry, what you've got to do is to be where it's at. In other words, right now we have 3 films being done here in Central Illinois. One called The Hole in the Sky, the other one's called F, the other one is called American Gangster. Another film is in Pawnee right now. So you have to be where the action is. I interned on a film before Awakening Land called Chisholms. And so I came out there and did it for free and shot the pictures, gave them to them and all that. And I learned set etiquette, and that's the most important thing that you have to learn. Whenever you see a bunch of actors, they're not praying, they cannot make eye contact with the actors. If you make eye contact with the actors and your wife just left you, or you're going bankrupt and you got a horrible look on your face, the actor thinks he's doing a bad job and he'll want to do it again. So, right to the front, if you go on a set, you'll learn all the, it's like a looky-loo. A looky-loo is someone that shouldn't be here. Suits, that's somebody from the studio. Be careful what you say. There's other words that you use that spreads the word to be careful, be safe. If you have an actor that's studying, leave him alone. If you eat with him, you can eat, you can talk, you can look, but the minute he's on the set, he becomes God. Talk to him.
Next hotel, you get the game. That's all I got. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. How was I?
Man, you look great. It was great.
Well, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm had the first like here. I was okay.
Oh, hell no. None. I got the microphone.
That.
Oh, that's just for entertainment tonight.
How are you feeling?